Implementing a custom React hook can really clean up a lot of complexity in a component. Let's walk through an example. Suppose we have a site that dynamically loads content from a content management system. Our content is grouped by section, and within a section, there are elements. A request for content like this would return data like this. Each element has a key and a value. So if we wanted the page title, we would search the array for an element with the key page title. With this in mind, our header might look something like this. We define content as state using the useState hook. Using fetch, we load the data from the API, convert it to JSON, and set it as the content. Finally, we use a helper function to find the desired element from the content array. Let's add another component, this time for the About page. The code should honestly look very similar to our header code. We have the content state, we make an API call, and we have the helper function for finding the element we want from the content array. The only real differences between the two pieces of code are the content being requested and what elements we display. This is a place where a custom hook can provide a lot of value. We move the state and the request for the data out into this new hook we'll call useContent. Then we return the content state. Using a hook in the header component would now look like this, and in the About component, it would now look like this. Now let's take a step back and look at what we've done. Initially, we had duplicated logic for requesting content. Then we encapsulated it inside of useContent. Now we can easily reuse that functionality in About, header, or any other component that needs to load content. Another duplication in our components is finding content. Our first instinct might be to move it to its own file so we can import it in either component. Unfortunately, this takes content out of scope, so we'll have to make finding content take content as a parameter from the components. Using it would look like this. This is a fine solution, but we can leverage our custom hook to take it one step further. Instead, we'll move finding content inside of useContent. Now, content remains in scope, so we don't have to pass it in as a parameter. We can make our helper function available to components by returning it alongside content, in the component that looks like this. If we compare the header that we started with to the header we ended with, it's easy to see the improvement. If you find yourself duplicating code in components, you should ask yourself, is this a place where I can use a custom hook to clean up some of the complexity?